Honorable Speaker, sir, I beg to move that the total provision of 150 crore, supplementary demand number 4, head 2801 power at page 5 of list of supplementary demands, be reduced by rupees 100. That is the amount of the whole supplementary demand of 150 crore to stand reduced by rupee 100.
Motion move. Now you may initiate discussion.
Thank you, Honorable Speaker, sir. Sir, the very fact of us bringing this motion is on the supplementary demand of 150 crores that has been moved by the department to tide over the financial crisis under MECL and its subsidiaries. So with this note coming from the department on the request of 150 crore, so we want to know the details as to the burden that has been put on the MECL on the loans that it has taken. So a few sessions back, the government had gone ahead to take the Atmanirbhar loan with the fact that the government will stand guarantee to pay for the 1,200 crores of loan that has been taken in order to pay the generation companies that are supplying power to the state. So that 1,200 crore, how much it has burdened the MECL? How much is the MECL paying per month? And whether this 150 crore that is being asked in addition to the already voted amount, whether it will cater to the requirement of the MECL to absolve its loans from various agencies, and in this particular instance, the Atmanirbhar loan that has been taken to pay off the power generation companies. Sir, as the department has also requested for this additional amount of 150 crore, the ground realities of the billing system should be highlighted in order to bring to the fore the plight, sufferings of the households across the state based on the billing system of the MECL. The bills are being delayed 4 months, 5 months. Households are not receiving the electricity bills. And once they receive these bills, the amount is so huge that they cannot pay it at once. As we are reeling out of the pandemic, employment opportunities are less, wage employments are less. It is becoming very difficult, especially to the economically challenged households, the single mother households, to pay the bills at once. We have repeatedly raised this issue on the floor of this House on how a household is being burdened with 4,000, 5,000 of electricity bill, which comes once in 4 months, once in 5 months, therefore burdening not only the household, but also the revenue that is to be collected by the MECL cannot be garnered as the households cannot pay all their bills at once. So this delayed billing along with the haphazard billing is also another problem. In 1 month we are seeing 150 to 180 rupees. Just a few months later we see that each household is spending 300 to 400 rupees per month. Therefore even the households are confused as to why their bills have shot up suddenly. One household which is using a 1 kilowatt drawal of energy has got a bill of 2 lakh rupees for 2 years. In spite of the request to review, this particular household is running from pillar to post, trying to get this bill reviewed and to see the previous bills before this as to how much the consumption was. But then they have to knock on the doors of the consumer grievances because nobody was there to help. They said whatever has been built has been built. 2 lakh rupees for a domestic connection in a village. Linemen. Sir, the interruption of power supply to various villages across the state has been disrupted for days and weeks because there are no linemen. Now, with this additional infusion of funds from the state government to the MECL, whether the problems of linemen will be solved. Because of forest cover, it is difficult for people to track as to where the snap is, as to where the power breakage is along the power supply lines. If linemen are not there, the restoration of the power to many of the villages gets delayed by months at times. Sir, the problem of transformers. Many villages have got their power disconnected because of the transformers not being functional. In spite of the efforts of the department to try to speed it up, many villages have not been getting their connection for more than 3 months to 4 months. The question is whether the billing will be stopped for those particular months where the transformers are not in place and not functional. Because in spite of the transformers not being functional, there has been no kind of relief to the consumers that are there in that particular village. So these concerns and many more are there, but then due to paucity of time, we may not be able to take it up at once. But these are few of my concerns regarding the financial health of the MECL, the ground realities, and also the problems that are being faced by people across the state when it comes to the services that are to be rendered by the MECL, sir. So with this few submissions, sir, I seek clarification from the Honorable Deputy CM, sir. Thank you.
So may I, sir? Sir. Honorable Speaker, sir, I would also like to join George Bilindo in the cut motion. Sir, I'll be very short. I'll talk only to the points of concern that Honorable Deputy Chief Minister may kindly take note of. It is actually sad to see that the rural areas of the state, except the towns like Shillong, Tura, Joai, they enjoy maximum power supply, but most of the villages, they reel under load sheddings or cut off from the power supply without really knowing the reasons why. And therefore, it becomes very difficult for the people living in the villages. On top of that, just like my colleague George had mentioned, the people in the villages are slapped with very high power tariffs, and the bills come once in 3 months or once in 4 months, and it goes to the tune of thousands of rupees. Particularly in Mausanram, the MECL does not function there. It has been given to a private firm called the FEDCO, which is for Mausanram and Maukarwat. This is on a trial basis. Initially, FEDCO was doing well, sir, but somehow or the other, the services of this particular firm needs to be reviewed by the department concerned, sir. Transformers are out of order very, very frequently, sir. I would like the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister to take note of one particular village called Domjri. It is a village in the border dominated by mostly a Garo village. I cannot imagine, sir, I have already reminded the FEDCO 3 times to replace the transformer. And as I speak now, this is the 7th month that this particular village is without power supply, sir. 7 months without power supply is not a matter of joke, sir. So kindly take note of these things, sir, but somehow, somewhere, I request the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister to kindly review the functioning of this private firm, FEDCO. Sir, Mausanram area is known for its rain, and over a flash of a lightning, the power supply goes off, sir. And once it goes off, it is very difficult for the linemen or for anybody for that matter to go and restore the lines, and therefore the whole area is cut off for days together until the rain stops, sir. I would request you to kindly look into some alternative measures, sir, where just by the flash of a lightning, if the power supply goes off, I can understand due to the high voltage of the lightning, the power may get snapped, but it should come back after some minutes or after some time. But it goes off, sir, for days together. These are the very common problems that the area is facing, sir. And lastly, sir, I would like you to kindly review the implementation of Sobhagya in the Mausanram constituency, sir. There are many villages, sir, where the Sobhagya in paper is shown as implemented and executed, but practically, sir, they have just installed a pole somewhere in front of the house, and they have brought a meter in the veranda, and there is no connectivity nor connection supplied to that. Many, many houses in the remotest part of my constituency are facing this problem, sir. So I request the Honorable Deputy Chief Minister to kindly look into it. And with these few words, I resume my seat, sir. Thank you.
Yes, President.
Mr. Speaker, sir, thank you profusely for allowing me to continue my submission by extending the time of today's business of the House. Sir, last time I just started my submission by supporting the cut motion moved by the honorable member from Umroy, Sri George B. Lindo. So, sir, from the demand, from the voting on the supplementary demand, we can see already almost 500 crores have been already voted through grant for the current financial year. And in addition to that, another 150 crores is being sought to be voted. Along with this, it is going to be more than 600 crores, Mr. Speaker, sir. And apart from the Atmanirbhar loan of 1,345.72 crores, another more than 600 crores from the government to be given as grant to the MSCL is a matter of concern, sir. We know that all is not well in the MSCL. Glaring example and the reflection of the alleged mismanagement is that till now the salary and the pension of the salary of the month of August has not yet been given to the employees. And the gratuity and leave encashment and other terminal benefits for the pensioners has amounting to 136 crore is yet to be paid to the pensioners. Mr. Speaker, sir, we can see the hardships and the agonies of the employees and the pensioners. Delegation of them met us also. They have aired their grievances. And this has to be addressed by the government immediately. Sir, I have been cautioning this government that the alleged misappropriation of fund in the MECL and the vis-a-vis the management in the corporation since long time back. We can see yesterday also when so many members, honorable members of this August House participated in the motion on power. They were mentioning about the transformer. Number of villages are being without electricity because of faulty transformers. From the statement given during question hour today, we can see altogether 313 villages are without electricity at this moment because of the transformer failure. And to be specific, in my constituency, one village is there called Gondugri, under Garovada subdivision. In this village, there is no electricity since 7th of May 2022. It's been 4 months now. How can people live without electricity at this era? The students, the children are having exam during hot summer day. We cannot spend even few minutes without electricity. At night, people are not being able to sleep. So the government has to take cognizance of this immediately and restore electricity in all of these villages. As far as the implementation of different schemes, for instance, Saubhagya scheme has been implemented with haphazard manner. The service is not up to the mark. The result is not up to the mark. Number of service connections which are shown in the completion report do not have tally with the actual service connection as determined from the energy bills, Mr. Speaker, sir. And the contractors who have executed the works under Saubhagya program, the contractors who are from outside the state, they were awarded at a very high rate, 51% above. And their bills have been cleared so easily. But the local contractors who have been engaged in executing the work of service connection, the internal wiring, and also the work was allotted to these local contractors as per schedule of rate. And that too has not yet been paid to the local contractors. And for the information of this August House, Mr. Speaker, sir, for the big companies who executed the infrastructure works under Saubhagya scheme. They have been paid, their bills have been cleared, even from the loan, the money which was taken on loan. So, I'm afraid the money which we are going to vote today also, there may be misuse in this, because their favorite contractors are being paid even from the loan component. These contractors who are coming from outside, they will spend outside. And if their local contractors, if they would have been paid with their dues, they are our people and they would be spending within our state mostly. But whereas the government of India has already cleared the money under Saubhagya. Then another alleged scam in MSL is UGO billing system. Under this, the MSL has gone ahead with a digital UGO billing system and without calling any tender, they have awarded the work. Is it in conformity with the provision of the rule? There was inquiry commission to inquire the alleged scams and irregularities in MSGL, but after that inquiry commission had done their job also, another scam came out immediately on this UGO billing system. I want categorical reply and answer on this very specific issue on behalf of the people of the state, Mr. Speaker, sir. And installation of smart meters, Mr. Speaker, sir. Just for the sake of implementing this scheme, another haphazard mode of implementation in this program also. The smart meters were installed in the rural areas. Why not in urban areas? Why not in industries? Industries are making profit. They are profit-making units. But whereas these so-called smart meters have been installed in the rural areas rather than installing it in the urban area and the industries. What is the modus operandi in this? Because the rural people, they are semi-literate, most of them are not educated. They can be fooled. This is the very reason why this smart meters program has been implemented in the rural areas only at the first instance. And in the process of implementing and installing these smart meters, very interesting thing is the smart meters are installed in different households. And to synchronize it, there is no installation of smart meter in the distribution transformer. Why it is so? How then, without synchronizing the smart meters which are installed in different households along with the distribution transformer, how the AT&C loss will be determined? How it is being managed? And there is still the special tariff going on for the industries. Yesterday, honorable members were showing their concern for the electricity bills being increased rapidly. But yes, the electricity, the tariff is being increased for the consumers, common consumers, whereas extra attention, extra facilities being given to the industries. Only 4 rupees 90 paisa for the industries under BIA, Barnyard Industrial Association. And another 30% waiving one-time settlement scheme kind of program was imposed. This is the reflection of the mismanagement and alleged misappropriation in the corporation, Mr. Speaker, sir. And then another generation, since August 2019, one of the 30 megawatt machines in the stage 4 of Umiam hydroelectric project is out of order, thereby causing hundreds of crores of rupees loss. Another failure of the generation company, one of the units having 42 megawatts capacity under Leska power project is also not functioning at this moment. Why it is so? I would like to question the government of the day, why the efficiency level of the generation company is not being increased. They are trying to get easy money only. Is more than 600 crores could have been spent, utilized for giving salary to the teachers, giving pensions, developmental works, clearing the bills of the local contractors, who are our beloved people only. That is why there has been alleged allegations being circulated, which has been carried in the print media and electronic media, that this government is using this MSL as milking cow. Another power project, the only hydropower project which was coming up in Garo Hills, that is 22.5 megawatt Ganol power project. What is the genesis? It was the government embarked upon this project in 2007. Then after that government changed, it was derailed. Then the estimate has to be revised. And when our government came, the estimate was revised up to 356 crore. The work started. And the target for completion and commissioning this project was December 2018. And Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, instead of completing and commissioning in December 2018, this government has tried to find ways and means to increase the revised estimate. Why it was necessary? On the query put forward by the subcommittee of Public Accounts Committee, we were replied that there was some geological surprise. What is that geological surprise? When we examined on the spot, all the underground work, construction of the tunnels have already been completed. Only superstructure portion was left out. Is not there any malevolent intention, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, then? And more interesting thing is, they have revised it from 356 crore to 507 crores. And with that also it is not sufficient, and they are planning to further increase the estimate, revised estimate, for another 30-40 crores. On behalf of the people of the state, I want answer on this from the government, Mr. Deputy Speaker. And Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the appointment in the corporate affairs. Last time, 128 multitasking assistants were appointed without any proper manner. Quietly they were appointed. Then recently another 36. Junior Divisional Accountant, JDA, 36 number of JDA was appointed. There are lots of irregularities, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir. More than 2,000 applicants appeared from Shillong and another about 1,000 from Garo Hills, and only 36 JDAs were appointed. I would like to know from the government as to how many of employees as JDA has been appointed from the first generation of the staffs working under corporate affairs. It is alleged that there has been nepotism and favoritism in the appointment process. So I want answer on this, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, from the government. So, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, there are lots of different issues pertaining to the mismanagement and alleged misappropriation of fund under this MSL. There is no proper management in the human resource development, human resource management. They have created lots of posts on the top and less employees. The vacant post in the lower grade was not filled up. That means top heavy. How can it function? And now, I think recently they have notified, the government has notified the structural changes. Now the minister in charge of power will be the chairman of MECL. Then under him there will be managing director, director of generation, director of distribution company, director of transmission company. That means that MD, managing director, will respond to 4 different bosses. This is the situation in MECL. So, Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, the pertinent points that I have referred to is very, very serious, and I urge upon the government, without delaying all these issues that I have flagged before the government, should be reviewed and corrected immediately. And every penny that is being voted through this House should be utilized optimally in the interest and benefit of the people of the state for the larger good and the growth of the state. With this submission, I would like to conclude my submission once again by supporting the cart motion moved by Sri George Ling, the Honourable Member for Umroi. I resume my seat.
Thank you. May I request the Deputy Chief Minister in charge to make a reply?
Mr. Deputy Speaker, sir, at the outset, I am so thankful to the Honourable Member, Sri George Lingdo, MLA from Umroi constituency, who has moved the cut motion on the demand number 4, and also the honourable members who participated in this very important motion, who ultimately raised their concerns and also shared their views for the style of functioning as well as for improving the MECL days-to-day functioning from now on. Sir, I would like to go straight to the points raised by the honourable members. The point number 1 is relating to the delay in billing in rural areas raised by the honourable members. Sir, it is true. In fact, the billing system which is being done till today to all the rural areas is for 2 months. But due to the huge shortage of manpower that we have throughout the state, ultimately, the meter readers sometimes were able to go maybe beyond 2 months, and leading to ultimately compiling of the outstanding bills to each and every household. Sir, relating this issue, in fact, we have already again had a review meeting in detail about this pertinent issue, and instruction has been given to the board that henceforth let us try to make sure that the bill collection should be done on monthly basis. And recently I would like to also inform that now the board will again take a decision. Yesterday I have already mentioned very, very clearly relating to engaging more contractual employees wherever required, like meter readers, like Jaculi, wherever the requirement arises. We will surely take this issue very, very seriously to remove the hurdles and to remove the difficulties faced by the beneficiaries, the household throughout the states. Number 2, the concerns of the honourable members who participated in this motion is relating to the frequent interruption of powers in the state of Meghalaya, especially during the monsoon season. Sir, I think we are all know when the pole connecting the villages or the locality, we knew it well, the situation that we have here in the state of Meghalaya. Sometimes in the middle of the jungle, the pole was erected and it has to go through the forest. Sometimes it has to go through the bamboo, which is maybe 20 meters height. So their situation is such. Sometimes during the summer, the real issue here is sometimes the trees fell down on the wire. Sometimes the trees fell down on the pole. So it takes a lot of time to identify such incident. And not only take a lot of time, it's so difficult even to approach or to be accessible to such places. So leading to ultimately delay in restoration of the repairing or restoration of the line to such places. So this is what's happening, sir, especially during monsoon. But during winter, whatever you see, we could see that the interruption for supply of power does not occur much, except during the winter dry season, we sometimes face the load shedding, and the load shedding happens because the shortage of water in our reservoirs. Not only in our reservoirs, even sometimes we have problem with even the company who's supplying us the power to our state discom. But, sir, saying this, I'm not saying that these challenges cannot be resolved. Let me assure the honorable members of this August House, government, the department will seriously look into all these issues, and we will try our best to increase, to enhance the services to the best satisfaction of the beneficiaries, the household in the state of ours. Next point, sir, we really have, I think yesterday I've already replied, relating to the delay in replacing the broken transformers. Yes, sir, it is true. I do admit that. Even, sir, in your villages, I think not less than 2 villages, now not less than 2 months, they don't have electricity, which I personally feel is very, very unfortunate, really. Not only in your village, sir, but throughout the state. Yesterday, in the third question, I've already replied. We have so much, and Mr. Zenit Sama, Honorable MLA, he did mention about even the number of villages who are yet to get the transformers replaced. It is true, sir. Yesterday, I've already replied. Government now has sanctioned again for 10.13 crores of rupees, and now the procurement process is almost completed, and I'm very sure by next month we will be able to replace those transformers wherever we don't have. And then not only replacement, even the repairing, side by side, the repairing of those damaged transformer will be getting it repaired, and we will create a stock, a pool, wherever necessary from now on. Through the repaired transformers, I'm very sure we will not be ultimately see the restoration work that it takes 1, 2 months or 3 months. So this one, sir, I assure the honorable members. So I'm sure the department will try our best to make sure, as I said to you, once again, of course, the challenges is so huge, no doubt of it, sir. Challenges is so huge, no doubt about it. And not only that, the financial burden that we face in the MECL is huge. Just yesterday, we had a review meeting under the chairmanship of our Honorable Chief Minister. We have seen the liabilities, we have seen the outstanding, which, sometimes we have just to look to heaven. Because why? It's so huge. And you can imagine, sir, right now, monthly, the expenditure is not less than 150 crores. 150 crores monthly, and only 75 crores MECL are able to generate. So 75 crores deficit every month on monthly basis. Sir. So the challenges is so much, no doubt about it. But as I said to you, sir, I assure the honourable members of this House, we are going to resolve these challenges one by one. One by one, we are going to resolve this. And let me reiterate again, yesterday I've already...
Honourable Deputy Chief Minister?
Yes, sir.
Please take a seat. It's now 2:15 p.m. Voting on demand for grants is now closed.